Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Paper Mario. Last time, we wrapped up Chapter 6, defeated Huff and Puff, got our 6-star spirit, and talked it up with Luigi in the post office. Now that we've managed to complete a chapter, we're gonna be once again visiting the old man to do more old man favors. And and surprisingly, you don't get any decent rewards for these favors either. Why do I bother to do this? Well, I never did them before, in the past. And not to mention, those 2 certificates we got for those minigames were pretty useful, so who knows, maybe he'll actually give us something really useful at some point. But alas, now is not the case. He recently sent me a letter saying there's a package there addressed to me. What are you waiting for? Go get it! Alright, so apparently we have to go to Gussie Gulch and talk to a specific boo that is familiar with this one. That's familiar with, Koopa Koot. And it's specifically this guy. Oh, hello. You're running an errand for old Koopa Koot, are you? Where did I wasn't really ready for this. Where did I leave it? Do you think you can wait for just a second? I should find it soon enough. Why don't you just kill some time by wandering around here? And by that, he means go leave the screen and then come back. Thank you for waiting. I finally found it. I can't believe it took me so long to track it down. You mean like what, 5 seconds, if that? Alright, we got our package, so let's just deliver it to the old man so he stops nagging us. We never find out what's in the package, sadly. Liver lava piranhas, This is the package I requested. Ever since my boo friend sent me that letter, I've been dying to know what's inside. I'll find out right now, after you leave. But I want to know what's in there. There better be cake in there. Somebody owes me one. Alright, so now he's asking for a coconut. Thankfully, I don't have to go very far for this at all, because if you recall in Chapter 5, I actually grabbed a few from a couple of trees, which you can hit. And I actually stored it in the store. If you're following this playthrough to a T, I'd probably be raising an eyebrow at you because of the mistakes that I've made throughout this playthrough. But you've been following this walkthrough let's play like pretty well, then you probably have coconuts in the store stored as well. If not, you know, go back to Lava Lava Island, just hit some trees in the early parts, and you'll find some coconuts, no problem. Great crawling cliffs! You're larger than life, Mario! How do you crack this thing? I guess I'll try it later. I'll give you this to show you my gratitude. And last but certainly not least, okay, this is really cryptic right here. He's asking us to get him a red jar from the Dry Desert shop. And in order to get this, you have to buy items in a specific order. Like when we had to meet Mustafa for the first time back in Chapter 2, we have to do something similarly here. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember what the third item is, because you have to buy the hammer first, then the pasta, then another hammer. And unfortunately, you forgot the fourth one. But don't worry, it's not as complicated as you think. The fourth item is actually just the dry mushroom. I did use a save state here because I didn't want to waste a bunch of time and money just to do this. But thankfully, I got it on my first try. So remember, Dusty Hammer, dry pasta, Dusty Hammer, dried shroom. And then he'll give you this. And before you ask, no, it doesn't do anything for you. It's only meant to complete this quest. You're You're a true workhorse, Mario. Incredible, outstanding, amazing. And since we've managed to do a good number of them, he gives us 3-star pieces. So cool. And since we managed to do that, we are now done. But we actually got 2 boss fights that I want to cover in this part. So let's just get into the first one. I did do a lot of preparations for these boss fights, but I did that for nothing, as I'll explain later. It's fine weather, isn't it? My name is Cassie Cooper. Please remember it, okay? If you want to use this road, you need to pay me 100 coins. Sorry, that's how it is. Coins make the world go round. Screw that. How about I just beat it? How about I just beat you? And he insists that he's super strong and you don't want to fight him. And super strong he is, let me tell you. This is easily one of the hardest boss fights in the entire game. This is Kenshi Koopa. He has an HP of 70, an attack power of 10, and a defense power of 6. This guy is no laughing matter. He's really strong, as he stated earlier. His attacks pack an obnoxious amount of damage. And not to mention, that attack he just did, he's able to knock out your party member with that. And that is a major problem. You do not want your party member knocked out for a couple of turns, because you're not hitting this guy for a lot of damage in that case. So, because whenever you jump on Kenshi Koopa to knock him over, he immediately gets back up. He's like the Dark Koopas in the sewers. So yeah, that's a problem. So what I suggest you do is you put him to sleep using a lullaby. Because for some odd reason, Kenshi Koopa is very vulnerable to the lullaby. It's absurdly useful against this guy. I'd argue you use the new star spirit we got, but you'd probably want to save that star power. Alright, so what I recommend is you charge up your power something fierce with your attack. Like an idiot, I attack the wrong thing. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I did it wrong. But yeah, this guy really hurts. He only has 2 means of attacks, in which, whenever he spins, if you don't guard against it, your partner will be taken out. You won't take a lot of damage from it, but it'll still hurt a little. This is the other attack, the one that hurts something fierce. You might be wondering why I only took 9 damage. I did switch my Flower Receiver badge earlier with a Defense Up badge, just to make these next 2 boss fights a little more comfortable. Because the damage output for both of them is pretty obnoxious. You could argue this guy is actually harder because his damage output is higher than the boss we're going to be fighting next. As a matter of fact, I believe the next boss fight even has less health. So you could be A or B about this, but again, the biggest thing with this guy is that you can put him to sleep. And just keep charging up your attacks like I do. You could also use Chill Out, that works. Maybe paralyze him, I guess. I actually don't know if you could stack status ailments. You probably can't. I mean, it's worth a try, I guess. I never thought about trying to stack status ailments. But Lullaby works just fine. And not to mention, you want Gobario out for this because he's the only other character in your party that could do jump attacks like Mario can. And you're going to want to be able to do that because otherwise he's just going to keep flipping himself back up. And like an idiot, I let my party member get knocked out. So now I'm just gonna be stuck stalling for a while. And this is where I got stuck in quite the bind, because this is where the damage that he's able to dish out really starts to impact you. Because I'm short on FP, so I can't abuse the charge method I had earlier. So I'm kind of in a tough spot. At least until I find out that he doesn't have a lot of HP left. Because I believe I do gamble and attack, because I'm about to die, so I'm just like, alright, you know what? Let me see if I could just, let me see how much damage I can do before he goes down. And as you can see, I keep letting the party member get knocked out, so... Again, I'm not in a good spot. You're gonna want to have some items, especially if you're running out of FP. Unless if you were leveling up differently, then you probably are in a better spot than I am. It's like I have to use Smooch at this point because I'm taking way too much damage, and without my other party member, I can't do anything to him. Because I can only attack him once, and he flips back over every time, and he immediately attacks. He's not like the Dark Koopas where, yeah, they flip over immediately, but it still takes a turn. Oh yeah, by the way, he's dead. It literally took 2 HP left for him to go down. It's like I wasted all that time. Heck, I even wasted the Super Shroom. It's probably my fault for not having the Peekaboo badge, which allows you to see enemy HP. Probably would have made things a little more comfortable. Alright, but now that you managed to feed him, you won't see him again. Alright, but let's pay the master of his and fight him again, because you're able to challenge him a second time. But, be forewarned, he's not as easy as he was before. As a matter of fact, if you don't get as lucky as I did with this, you're gonna have a frustrating time. Alright, so now we have the Master. He has an HP of 75. Okay, so their HPs are identical. An attack power of 8, and a defense power of 0. Now, seeing as how I sort of cheese this boss fight, I don't know what his, I don't know what his other attacks are, because all I can really think is that he'll use a basic attack on you. I think he could combo you, though, twice. I think he could get a second hit on you. And that's really bad in my case, because I only have 30 HP. But the method that I'm using, again, chill out works. You might be able to use Lullaby. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't keep as much star points as you can to heal, especially if you're not getting as lucky as I am, because I'm using Watt to paralyze him. But I guess Watt's means of paralyzing people, like the difficulty of it, is dependent on how tough the enemy is. Watt has a really difficult time paralyzing this guy, because I don't think I can even get it. The gauge up to halfway before he's done being like the paralysis on him ends. I say I wouldn't suggest Lullaby, but I really suggest Chill Out, because taking 8 damage is don't take that very lightly, especially if you're leveled up the same way I did, where you max out your BP before anything else. I can't help it, I just love using badge points. They're not as abusable in this game as they are in the sequel, but still. But at the very least, that's all there is. That's all there is to this boss, as long as you can keep the pressure going, like continue to stun him with whatever means you have. You can use the Cloud 9 ability too. That Spike has, which will increase your evasiveness, you'll have more opportunities to dodge the attack. I don't believe the other characters would be much use though. Heck, I don't even think, yeah, Bo wouldn't be very useful. And with that, we got another degree certificate. I don't know which one. I wasn't looking. But thankfully, that's all there is between chapters 6 and 7. Thankfully, we got those boss fights done. We shot it up with some people. So, with that said, next time on Paper Mario, we're gonna we're gonna finally head to chapter 7 and make our way to our 7-star spare. So until then, I got a juice.